Hi, today this question is related to disabling root login over SSH. Question says, how do we disable a root user login through SSH? So to demonstrate that, we have taken two virtual machines. This of Ubuntu 2004. So we are having one server and one client. Client's IP address is 10.0.2.6 and server's IP address, as you can see, is 10.0.2.5. We have imported these virtual machines into a Oracle virtual box. So and we made a internal network and we connected these two systems. And in the server, SSH is enabled, and from client we are trying to log into SSH server. So let us start. First we will see what is the configuration on the server, current configuration on the server, and we will make any adjustments if we need. So let us see. First we will see whether SSH service is running on the server or not. So generally we will check with the systemctl. So we can see that the SSH service is active and it is running on let's see which port. It's running on port 9999. As you might have already read in many other places, SSH runs by default on port 22. For this demonstration, I changed the port to 9999. Okay, how do we change it? You can see it in the previous videos. We can go to configuration file of the SSH /etc ssh sshd _config. This is a default configuration. Okay, everything as you can see is commented. You can change it here, but it is recommended to change or modify in a separate configuration file. So as you can see here, there is a include statement here. So here you can see there is a separate directory where we are including all those files ending with conf file. So I have created one custom conf file in that location. So I am going to update that file. So I will show you vim/etc ssh sshd _config.d. in that by default there may not be no file, so I created a custom.conf file. Here I change the port number to 9999, and just for demonstration I will change this to yes. So I am allowing root login. Okay, this is a root file, so I forgot to use sudo. So whenever you are changing any configuration file, generally if you are not a root user, then you have to have a sudo permission. So we will see in other videos what is that sudo and how to do that. So I made it, and once we change any modifications in the configuration files, we have to restart the service. So I am restarting sudo systemctl restart. The service name is sshd. Okay, so I restarted. Now I will see the status. It is a good practice to see the status of the service whenever you are restarting or starting it. So I will say status systemctl status sshd sshd.service. You can see it is active, running, and it is running on port 9999. So now we will go to client system and try logging to server from client system. Now I am going to client. Okay, let us go to client system. So I'm in the client now. So in client, let us try to connect to the server. SSH root @ server's IP address is 10.0.2.5. so I tried in. It is saying refused on port 22. Why? Because in server I changed the port number to 9999. So by default, if you are not specifying any port for SSH command, it will connect on port number 22, which is the default port. So now I will specify a port with -p flag, -p port number 9999, and let's see what it is asking. It is asking for the root password. In case if you are logging out the first time, it may ask some key exchange related things where it will ask whether you have to accept or not. Yes or no, you accept it. and then it will ask for the password. So password I am typing. So I am able to log into the system server. Okay, and you can verify the server's IP address also. Grab 2.5. So you can see I logged into Ubuntu server, and the name also you can see in the command prompt terminal. So yes, you are able to log in using root. Now the question says, how do you disable root login? So now I will go back to the server. Okay, go back to server, and in server, to make any modifications, right, you have to update the configuration file of the SSH. So I am going to configuration file of SSH. As I told you earlier, you can directly change in the default configuration file, or else you can change in your custom files. I am showing it in custom file. In case if you are not willing, you can change it in the default file also as well. So I am changing it here. My file name is custom.conf. This name may be different for you. Okay, so I open. Now I am changing permit to no. Okay, so what I am saying, permit root login. This is the parameter that you have to make it to set to no. Okay, I made it no. Then what you have to do, we have to restart the SSH service. So sudo systemctl restart sshd. Okay, I restarted. As a good practice, we will see what is the current status. Systemctl status of sshd. So you can see SSH is active now. Now we will go back to our client. Okay, let's go back to our client system. I came back to client system, and then let's try accessing the server through SSH. Service is running on port number 9999. You have to mention port number, otherwise it will come to default port, which is 22, and root is the username. And what is the server's IP? 10.0.2.5. So it asks for the password. I am typing the password. So permission denied. You can see, you can try some 2-3 times. After that it will tell denied completely. So you can see permission denied. So the answer is, how do we disable root user login through SSH is by means of changing the configuration file of SSHD. In that configuration file, we have one permit root login parameter that we have to set to no. If you want to enable root login, we have to set it to yes. But as a general practice, root login over SSH should be disabled. Okay, I hope you understand. If you are having any doubts, please let us know in the comment section. Thank you.